through spring, the way you guys have been working together, the way the whole group has come along to this point?
I just see a lot of guys like stepping up, just accepting their new roles on the team. Knowing Jalen Carter leaving just opens up a bigger spot for other guys to showcase their talents, so that they can provide for us to help us win games and stuff like that. And Zelo getting more reps in practice and striking alongside Tremel Walthour, playing in sometimes Jack, and just getting more reps. Chance for people like Bear Alexander and Michael Williams to go up there and showcase that they can start and play in big games.
It might seem like a little bit of an obvious question, but how different are things for you guys without Jalen in the middle, a guy who's going to be drafted?
I would say it's too much different, but it is an eye opener to for us guys who aren't used to the pass rush. Some of us guys are one dimensional, and so Trey Scott is working hard with us to help us work both ways, stopping the run and pass rushing, affecting the QB, just being destructive on the field. And we all know Jalen Carter was really good at doing that and being dependable.
How hard is that for guys, whether it's yourself or anybody else, to when you've been primarily asked to do one thing, all of a sudden you're kind of tasked with doing both? How hard is it to develop both those skill sets? We try
not to, we use the word hard a lot. Solid, firm, resistant pressure, not easily broken to peers. So, but it's more of a challenge than it is, hard to us because, we've all been waiting for this opportunity. And it's close to contract season. We call it contract season, basically where we're already eligible for, the next draft, next combine and stuff like that. We're just maximizing our value. So to be able to transition from, okay, I'm a run stopper to being a pass rusher and just helping the team out in that category is just something that we just, need, or that we are working towards and working hard to build up on our defensive line.
You mentioned Jalen gone. Do you feel like you guys as an entire defensive line sort of have something to prove losing a guy of that talent?
I would say yes, but then again, no, because I would say last season, I'm like, you seen the statistics. I'm pretty sure our last two games wasn't really what we expected, but throughout the whole season, we averaged, I don't know, under 14 yards per game within teams and stuff like that. So I would say that our identity is still out there. We just have to withhold that identity and keep the standard with the team. And it's a big challenge for us because every new season is something that we find an opportunity to prove to everyone else that look, we're still Georgia defense, and we can still stop the run. We can still affect a lot of teams offensively or defensively. And so I would say it's a big challenge, but we're building up to work that out throughout the D line and just the defense as a whole.
What's the biggest change you've noticed in Michael Williams from where he came in as a freshman last year to where he is now?
I would say just him just maturing. I'm like that transition from high school to college is, I would say, a big transition, but for some guys, it's more of a transition mentally. Michael definitely shows a lot of talents when it comes to helping us out. Obviously, you've seen that last season. He had, I think, around 2.5 sacks, a big sack against Ohio State against a first-round offensive tackle. And, him just showing us that, or just giving us clues that in the future he's going to be a great dominance when it comes to playing defensive end. He can play jack, and just, him transition from high school. You couldn't really see that difference because he plays really hard. He played really hard in high school. He's playing really hard now, and it's just going to be exciting to watch him, his future with Georgia football.
What's the strength of this defensive line? Obviously, Jalen sort of, a monster a year ago, but this year it seems like you guys have strength in numbers. As a group, what do you think you guys do best, especially?
Oh, yeah, stop and run, number one. And I'm like, that's Georgia football. You can't define Georgia football any better than that. Just stopping the run, and then our secondary, are doing their best at covering great receivers. We have great receivers on the team, and then pass rushing. And that's something that we're working on now, and then that I don't doubt that we're going to get really good at, and it's going to be a big impact throughout the season.
What are your early impressions of Jordan Hall?
Jordan Hall, he's a very funny guy. He's a character. I like him. He's actually my roommate. Yeah, I still live in the dorms, but he's actually my roommate. And you know, I like Jordan Hall. I would say he learns at a decent pace as a freshman. He's excited to get out on the field. He's always looking for work, always looking to get more reps and get better on the field.
What about? Go ahead.
He a good roommate?
Huh?
He a good roommate?
I'm like, yeah, he is. He's not a loud guy. He's kind of, he's a little bit more louder than Jalen Carter because Jalen was my roommate as well. But he doesn't really just, talk every time. We always talk, and every time we're around and stuff like that. He's never in my way. And I have like a JBL speaker. He asked me to use it. I gave it to him. He can use it, stuff like that. It's a freshman thing.
Now, do you think you mentioned Jalen, and we're out here, reading what supposedly people are thinking. I mean, how crazy would these teams be if they pass on him? Wondering if he's going to pan out. Do you think? I'm
like, I will be biased if they say they are crazy. They pass up on Jalen, but at the same time, any team that passes up on Jalen, he's just going to prove them different. He's just going to prove them wrong. I'm like, whoever he goes, he's just going to go out there. He's just going to be Jalen Carter like he was at University of Georgia. So if he were to go to the Seahawks, that's the talk of town right now. If he were to go to the Seahawks, he's going to create a big impact on the Seahawks. If he were to go to the Bears, he would create a big impact on the Bears. So the teams that do pass him up, Jalen, I wouldn't say he would have a chip on his shoulder because he's just one of those guys where he's like, oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm just going to go out there and play anyway. And he just has a really good way of just showing everyone that he's him.
Nazir, what's the most exciting thing you've seen from the offense so far in spring camp?
Just the new group of tight ends. The new group of running backs. I would say we have a couple of changes on the offensive line. Not too different there. Some of the guys who were actually out, not actually started on the O-line, were guys who were probably injured or guys who probably just didn't get that opportunity. And now that I see a difference throughout the O-line, it's like, okay, I see the dynamic. They're still trying to get comfortable with just the offense. And then like the tight end group, we have Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky, still got Brock Bowers. Just a really great group, of talent. And receiver-wise, we still got the same guys who are out there: Marcus Rosemead, Arian Smith. We got C.J. Smith, and so we just got a lot of guys who are just talented throughout the offensive core. And it doesn't really surprise me at all because I know that most of them are going to step up to the plate and make big plays in big games.
Specifically about the offensive line, obviously guys you get to see up close and personal, every day. Is there anybody in particular on that group? I don't know that gives you a hard time from time to time.
I would say Cedric Van Pran, and consistent. Cedric is a consistent guy. I've been going against Cedric after Trey Hill when he was here. I've been going against Cedric for since my freshman year, and just to see his development, and I'm pretty sure it's vice versa in his eyes too, and see my development. It's just that he always gives me a good look every time I can always depend on Cedric to give me a really good look because we're going against teams who are really good at zone blocking. We're going against teams who are really good at downhill runs. Cedric always gives me a good look to prepare me for these games, and I always give him a good look. And it just always makes the games easier because I'm like, we go out there and we play and we stop runs, and sometimes it's because of what Ced did in practice, and sometimes if they're running the ball in a great run defense, sometimes it's what we did in practice. So it's always iron sharpens iron type of strategy, and I like it. I like Ced for that. He's very consistent.
You started every game last year, did you not?
Yeah.
But how does that land? That's a pretty impressive accomplishment considering the position that you play, the contact there. Is that something you're proud of?
I'm very proud of that, and I'm very proud of just me holding it down, 10 toes down, learning from the guys, Trayvon Walker, Devontae Wild, Jordan Davis, just me just learning from them guys. I just knew deep down inside that if I could just gain this type of information, gain this type of the strategies from these guys and stuff like that, I can definitely use that when it's my time. And Coach didn't sugarcoat anything. After the fall of last year, he said, "Look, Nazir, starting in the Oregon game," and I just kept it within myself to like, look, I can go farther from here. And after that game, it's just been exciting to know that I was starting in every game after that.
Well, is it hard for guys in this era, the portal and everything, to wait a couple of years, especially if you don't play right away?
Oh, not at all. It's not hard at all. One thing about Georgia football is that opportunities come and go. And what I mean by that is you might have some guys who are down, and coach is going to be looking at you to to that position. It may not just be in offense or defense. It could be special teams. It doesn't matter. God can come in, and he doesn't have to embed in his head that, he might not play early, because all he has to do is put in that effort and that hard work. Kirby is always looking at those guys. And it may not seem like that immediately, but if you just keep working and grinding hard on and off the field, in class, in practice, if you're asking questions in meetings, writing notes in meetings, Kirby is seeing that, and he's definitely going to give you an opportunity to showcase what you can provide on a team. And so that whenever a guy says that he can't get on the field, that doesn't exist at Georgia football, because it's always a spot that you can play anywhere, special teams, offense, or defense.
Good time for 2 more questions.
How do these quarterbacks compare to Stetson in terms of ability to make plays with their feet?
For Stetson just to be at Georgia and accomplish the things he has, Carson, Brock Vandegrift, Gunnar Stockton, they all look great. They all look great. I couldn't even compare them any different, because just them playing behind him, I'm pretty sure they gained a lot of information from him and talents, and I'm pretty sure they sat back and wait. Like I said, those opportunities come, and those opportunities are here for those 3 great quarterbacks we have right now, and they're doing really good. And it's almost hard to tell who's going to start. And it's a great challenge, and it's a great opportunity for all 3 of them.
Which mantra from the New Zealand rugby team that Kirby says you guys are studying, have you taken anything from that?
Oh yeah, definitely. We were just actually talking about that today, team meeting. We were talking about no one's bigger than the team, sweep the sheds. That's the only 2 that stuck out to me. There's actually 2 other more. I just can't think of one right now. But he uses those mantras all the time, and it's something that we hold as a team, and it helps us come together. He calls that connection, and this is part of our team values. And whenever he brings that up, we know that it's something that he cares about, and it's something that we should work on, because we have a lot of new guys, we have transfers, we have a lot of mid-years, and for us to come together as a team is something that's very important, because if we can come together and connect, then it helps us win games and help us
Just
be
follow up
victorious.
on that. When he says New Zealand rugby team, what are you thinking when he's going with this? I mean, how much of this did you know about this before he?
Nothing at all. I didn't know anything at all. When he brought that up, it was something. It was something that Drew Brennan brought up in one of our skull sessions, and it's something that we just been riding along with since then.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, man.
No problem.